Hi everyone and welcome. This is Jung and today I'm here with a process video for Hip Kit Club and I'm going to be using the September 2018 Hip Kits. I was supposed to be focusing on the main kit, but I kind of forgot about that part. And so I used the main kit, the color kit, the paper kit, and the cardstock kit. I kind of realized it halfway and I try to correct my mistakes, but there are certain things that I can't go back on, so you'll see. I was also challenged to use fall leaves on my layout, and I love this wreath paper by Pinkfresh Studio. It's called Meadow. So I started out by fussy cutting it out. I had already cut out the outside, and so now I'm trying to show you how I cut out the inside, pretty much carefully. And here it is all done. I love this wreath paper. I actually fussy cut another sheet and used it on another layout, which I do not mind at all because I love it so much. Okay, what I'm showing you now is I used my silhouette to use some of the cut files from the month. I believe they're both subscriber cut files. The first cut file that you saw is called Fall Wreath and it was designed by Kim Watson, and it was actually supposed to mimic the wreath in that pattern paper. So I thought it would work well with the fussy cut wreath. I wanted to add it as a layer for shadow to create depth and some texture. The second cut file that I'm using is designed by fellow team member Yana, and it's called Flowers and Leaves. And this was obviously before I realized I was supposed to concentrate on the main kit, so I'm just using the fussy cut leaves that I cut out on white cardstock, and I'm using some Shimmers products to color the leaves to kind of match the colors on that pattern paper wreath. The first one, the purple shade, is the Shimmers in Wisteria Lane. That's the one that came in the September color kit. And I'm mixing, for the pink color, I'm mixing two of them together. The bubblegum pink one is called Cotton Candy, and that's also in the color kit in September. And then the more reddish colored one is called Mango Tango, and it was in a previous color kit. I start off by adding just a light wash of color onto the leaves. Once dry, I add another layer just to certain parts so I can create some dimension and depth. I wanted to add some gold flicks to the leaves, so I'm using an older color kit product. It's Shimmers Old Yeller, and I think this gold color is the perfect color to match the Pinkfresh Studio Alpha that was also included in the kits. So I didn't actually use any of these leaves, of course, when I realized that I was supposed to concentrate on the main kit, but I decided to keep this in the video in case it inspired any of you guys to give this technique a try. Since I was also challenged to use fall leaves on my layout, I fussy cut the vellum and gold Maggie Holmes paper that was included in the paper kit. Okay, so I'm going to be using these two photos of my three girls in their game day jerseys. It's kind of representative of trying to get the quote-unquote perfect shot. In the black and white photo, my youngest is too busy eating snacks to pay attention to the camera. My oldest has an "I'm so over this" face. My middle girl is smiling though. By now, the girls are all used to me trying to get that shot. I probably took 100 photos this day, and the one in color is the best that I was able to get. I love taking photos. Besides scrapbooking, it's my other #1 hobby. What you saw me doing was trying to embellish the photo with all the different leaves. Now I'm trying to figure out how to embellish my layout. I really like the font on that smile thicker, and so I'm going to use that as my title. I thought it was only fitting to put it on that photo. Now I'm pulling everything off so I can decide what I want my background to be. I'm going to try it on white cardstock and blue cardstock, which are both from the cardstock kit in September. And I end up liking how bold the blue cardstock looks, so I'm going to stick with that one. I love how the wreath and the cut file really pop against the blue cardstock. By the way, I'm really sorry about the lighting in this video. I know it changes several times. I have to do my scrapbooking in spurts, and I also have to do scrapbooking at night, so I'm still trying to figure out my lighting. Okay, what I'm doing here is adding some flicks to my blue cardstock in a circular pattern so it will be behind the leaf, or the wreath, I'm sorry. And I'm using the wisteria lane that was in the color kit. I know it's hard to see now, but once it's dry, you'll definitely be able to see it because it's so shimmery and pretty. I wanted some bigger dots of color, so I'm using my paintbrush just to paint them on. I'm also going to be flicking on some of the Shimmers cotton candy that was also in the color kit. I really like how these light Shimmers colors pop against my dark background. And here it is all dry. Doesn't it look so pretty? I love it. Now I'm going to work on putting my layout back together. First I'm going to put the cut file on, and then the wreath, and I'm going to take it off camera and add a little bit of machine stitching. So now I'm just ruffling up the leaves to create some depth and dimension. Are y'all getting tired of me saying depth and dimension yet? Now I'm looking through the exclusive Project Life cards to find something to back my photos with. I love getting the Project Life kit even though I'm not a Project Lifer because I can use them to back my photos or I can use them to punch out shapes. Really, you could find multiple uses for these cards, not to mention the other goodies that come with the Project Life kit. Okay, so I really like the colors of these two cards. I really think it brings out the red tones in the colored photo, as well as the pink colored leaves in the wreath. Okay, so I'm going to be using some double-sided tape to glue the photos to the Project Life cards. And then I'm going to be adhering the photos to the layout. For the black and white one, I just used double-sided tape and adhere it directly to the cardstock. But for the colored photo, I use a little bit of foam tape because it's sitting on top of the leaves and there's already some dimension. You're going to see my best friend, the T-square ruler, make an appearance soon. And there it is. Just got to make sure that everything is straight. Because I ruffled up the leaves, I ended up having to use two foam squares stacked on top of each other. So now you're pretty much going to see me push around these leaves, trying to get them perfect before I glue everything down. And I move it around quite a bit, so what should we talk about? What is your favorite thing about fall? Let me know in the comments below. I guess one of my favorite things about fall would be a little bit cooler weather. I really love cardigans and boots, but living in Texas, we don't really get to wear them for very long. I'm still waiting for that cold front. In fact, we're still in shorts and flip-flops, and it'll probably be that way until about Halloween maybe. And since I was challenged to use fall leaves on my layout, I really do love seeing all the leaves change. In photos, of course, because here in Texas we have green leaves and brown leaves, and that is all. Anyways, I'm still pushing around the leaves. As I mentioned in my last video, I'm a very slow scrapbooker. I push things around quite a bit before I make a decision. When I put all the clips together and I edit, I have to speed up the clips 2, 3, and sometimes 4 times. That's how slow of a scrapbooker I am. Okay, so this is a new day, and this is where I realized that I was supposed to concentrate on the main kit. So I am going to pull off the leaves that I made using the cut file and the shimmers. And I'm going to look through the Pink Fresh Studio ephemera pack to find some different options. I ended up pulling out the yellow leaf and the blue leaf from the ephemera pack, and I really like how they complement my photos, so it worked out well. I ended up keeping the vellum that I fussy cut out. I really just like how the gold leaves look, so I just left them. And then of course, I can't undo the splatters that I did on the background, so they will have to stay. So now I'm just typing up some journaling on a scrap piece of cardstock using my typewriter, and then I'm going to cut them into strips and adhere them to my layout. My journaling says, I just wanted a photo of the girls in their tech jerseys. Took some snacks and about 100 shots, but I got one. Hashtag mom life. Okay, so now I'm just looking for those finishing touches to embellish my layout. I wanted to add a little bit more black because I have the black in the title, so I'm just going to use that same puffy thickers pack to find some hearts to scatter along the wreath. Okay, so I'm going to choose 3 hearts to put on the wreath. At first I wanted them all to be a little bit different, but in the end I decided that it looked better with all of the hearts being the filled in ones. I also want to add more gold to the layout since right now the only gold I have is from those fussy cut leaves. So I'm going to use the Pink Fresh Studio Gold Puffy Alpha stickers and use some of the dots as I would enamel dots. I think they're supposed to be used as periods, but I don't ever put periods in my titles, so I like using them in a different way. To finish off my project, I just want to make sure that the leaves stay fluffed up, so I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape to the inside edge of the leaves. I'm going to curl up the very tips of the leaves with my fingers, and then I'm going to call it done. Don't forget to check out the Hip Kit Club website. I will leave the link down below. Thanks for watching. Bye!